If your feet hurt, then it's probably because you don't have active flexible toes or strong arches. And right now, I'm gonna show you 3 ways to fix your feet and your arches. Now, a lot of people have foot pain because they stick their feet in these tight shoes and their shoes get clumped up like this. Their toes get all clumped together for a really long time. And so they end up with like lots of adhesions, lack of flexibility in their feet. So right now, I wanna show you how to care for your feet, and then I wanna show you how to stretch your feet at the same time, okay? The first thing to do to care for your feet is this. We have the ability to do self-massage on our feet anytime we want. And one of my favorite ways to do self-massage is to use a spoon and a little bit of lotion. So I'm gonna show you that technique right now, okay? So you put a little bit of lotion on the back of a spoon, you cross your foot over your knee like this, and all you're gonna do is first rub a little bit of lotion on the bottom of your foot across the arches and everything, and then we're gonna turn the spoon to the side where the blade of the spoon is, right? And we're just gonna kind of scrape downward like this across the arch of the foot and down into the heel, okay? So just cross the arch of the foot, down into the heel like this, just a little bit up, a little bit down. And you can do this every night for a few minutes just to create more space. And the big thing you wanna focus on is listening to your body, okay? So you wanna focus on, did this make your body feel better? If it did, great. Keep doing it. It's helping you loosen up that tissue, create more flexibility, and it's gonna be helpful for the next move I'm about to show you. But from there, you're gonna wanna listen to your body. Some people might do this, and it might cause inflammation, and it might not feel good. So if you have things like plantar fasciitis, or if you have aches and pains in your foot, just be patient, go slow, because it's really important for you to listen to your body and understand when something feels good versus when something feels bad, okay? So you can do that with a spoon. You can also just grab your foot, rub your foot out, find the areas that feel tight anytime you wanna rub your foot. And if you have somebody around you, a partner or a spouse, you can also do foot rub trades with them. That's a fantastic thing to do. Remember, our feet carry us all day long. They carry us all day long, and we never treat them right. So just take a moment each day to treat them right if you have issues with your feet, all right? I promise it will pay dividends by doing this, okay? Now from there, if you have tight toes, so what does that mean? If your toes are scrunched together like this, meaning your big toes push to the side, maybe you have a condition that's called bunions, right? Maybe the pinky toes squish to the side like this. If your toes are squished together, then it's really important that you recreate mobility in your feet. So I'm gonna show you how to do that, okay? 3 different stretches for your toes. First, we're gonna take each toe and we're gonna lift it upward like this, okay? So the toe's gonna stretch upward like this. And then once we feel like a nice stretch in there, maybe 10 seconds, 20 seconds, we're gonna stretch the toe downward like this, all right? And we're gonna do that for each digit of our foot, one at a time. That toe goes up, that toe goes down, right? So these are 2 different stretches. There's an extensor stretch and there's a flexor stretch, going back and forth like this. You might have them pop and crack too, that's all right. But holding for about 10 seconds each direction and trying to move that toe as far up and as far down as you can, all the way into your pinky toe, fantastic stretches, okay? Now the next thing, one of the #1 problems that people have when they put their feet in these shoes is their feet get squished together like I talked about, right? You take your feet out of your shoes and they look like this. So we need to create lateral flexibility of the feet, okay? And so how do we do that? Well, my favorite way to do this is you take your pinky and you put it between your pinky toe and your ring toe. Then you take your next finger and you take your next finger and you take your next finger and you create space between your toes like this. Now, if you're comfortable enough to cross your knee over your foot like this, or over your foot over your knee like this, you can put your fingers between those toes and you can relax like this for 10 minutes at night. And it's gonna create that lateral mobility you need in your toes to be able to use your feet the way they were supposed to be used. Now, if it's too hard for you to bring your foot up this high, or you wanna just try something a little bit simpler, you know what you can do? You can go on Amazon and you can order toe spacers, right? You can just type in toe spacers, and for a few bucks, you'll get these toe spacers. These are the type of things that you would put in between your toes when you go to get a pedicure, and they keep your toes splayed out like that. Put those in 10, 20, 30 minutes while you just relax at night, and that's gonna help create that lateral mobility so that you can spread your toes and start to use your feet the way that your feet were meant to be used. Now this next one is gonna be a drill that I want people to practice if you feel like you don't have good strength in your feet or in your arches. And an easy way to think about this is, can you balance on one foot? If you can balance on one foot for a minute and it's no problem, and you feel like you have nice strong feet, then you probably don't need this drill. But if you can't balance very well, and if you can't feel your arches working when you're standing on that one foot or when you're trying to stand on one foot, then this is the movement for you because it's gonna strengthen your arches and strengthen your toes. So I'm gonna start out by putting my foot on top of this plate right here. So check this out. My toes are squished together like this, all right? That's what most people's feet look like. And then you can see how my foot is really pressed into this glass right here, okay? So from there, what we want to focus on is being able to create space between the toes, all right? So my foot's pushed down, I want to create space between the toes. So how do I do that? First, I spread my toes by reaching my pinky and my big toe out. Now at first, when you do that, it might just be like this. It might be like partially there, it might not do very much, all right? We want to be able to spread the toes as wide as possible and then push the toes down and grab the ground with the toes. You can see how I'm grabbing the ground with my toes. You'll see them pushing harder in there. As I do that, what you want to do is almost think about rolling the ankle to the outside, but really what I'm trying to focus on is taking the big toe, the ball of the big toe right here, and squeezing it as close to the heel as possible. So this is me with a more flat foot. This is me with a more active arch. Sometimes it's helpful as you do this to lift your toes up and then put the toes down and then squeeze everything at the same time. And so the way you do this drill is you put your foot flat, you squeeze the arch, you put your toes down, and then you squeeze and hold for a couple seconds, and then you just relax. And then you put your foot down, you activate the arch, you squeeze your toes down, you hold for a few seconds, and then you relax, okay? I'm gonna show you guys again over here, just in case we didn't get a perfect shot of that, because this is a really important drill for most people. So again, put your foot flat down on the ground. Then we're gonna do this, activate the arch. We're activating the arch by pulling this side of the big toe pad towards the heel, like this. See this little tiny bit of a movement? That's all the movement we need right there. I could do it on this side too for a better shot. So this is a flat foot, pulling that big toe side towards the heel and creating a nice arch, okay? Toes go up, then we grip the ground with the toes and we hold for a few seconds and then we relax, okay? So that's how we start to work on activating our toes, activating our arches, which is ultimately gonna help our feet feel significantly better, okay? Now, how do you practice this drill? Well, just like the care for your feet and the toe stretches, my recommendation is if you have issues with your feet and you know your toes and your arches aren't very active, then what you should do is this. Wake up in the morning, sit to the edge of your bed, put your feet on the ground, and practice for 1 minute on the right foot and 1 minute on the left foot. And then, right before you go to bed, sit down on your bed, practice for 1 minute on the right foot, 1 minute on the left foot, and just repeat that every single day, twice a day, until you have active control over your feet. When we're working on strengthening neurological connections with things like our arches and our toes, it can take a lot of time to get that neurological connection rebuilt because you've essentially forgotten how to do that movement. So practice it every day, ideally twice a day, and watch as that arch comes alive, as the toes come alive. And when that happens, your feet feel better, it's easier to walk, it's easier to do so many different things in your daily life, and oftentimes other aches and pains in your lower body, all the way up to your lower back, start to go away as well, okay? So if you have feet issues, then I want you to focus on those 3 things. Care for your feet, 3 toe stretches, activate your arches. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that the moves I showed you will help you feel better in your body. If you want to feel even better in your body, well, then you can watch this video right here. Otherwise, if you want workouts that will make your whole body feel amazing, well, all you have to do is click the link below, take our free quiz, and we'll build you a personalized at-home workout plan that you can try out for free.